As basketball fans, all throughout this year and off-season, I'm sure most of you had heard about the brand new NBA in-season tournament. Some people love the idea, others find it pointless. But after the first games the other night, the main question most people are left with, including me, is how will it actually work and what will it really mean to players and teams? I mean, even players are confused.
But it's new, so I'm not really sure what the hell is going on. Like what?
And well, not everyone is a diehard NBA fan, and that's fine. So I'm here to answer those questions and explain everything you need to know about the new NBA in-season tournament. So stick around, and welcome to a casuals guide. Firstly, let's break down the format. All 30 NBA teams get to compete in the tournament, with them all being split into each conference and then 3 randomized groups of 5. Very similar to the FIFA World Cup, all teams in the group will play each other once, a round robin. These group games will take place on Tuesday and Friday nights, and crucially, these games will still count towards a team's overall season record, making it actually important for teams to show up and win the games. The group games will take place every week until the 28th of November. The teams that finish with the most wins in each group automatically qualify for the knockout stages. However, another 2 teams will be awarded a wildcard spot in the knockout stages, similar to the NFL playoffs. This will be decided by the 2 teams with the most wins that finish second in their group. If 2 teams have the same record, head-to-head play will be the deciding factor. Now this is where it gets really fun, the knockout stages. I mean, this is a college basketball fan's dream. Imagine if the NBA was like March Madness. Well, now it is. All the knockout games in the tournament are win or go home. You have to show up on the night. There's a quarterfinal, semi-final, and then the final. The final will be in Vegas, and the winning team will be awarded the trophy as well as cash incentives. $500,000 to every player and the coach for the winners, $200,000 each for runners-up, $100,000 for semi-finalists, and $50,000 for quarterfinalists. Now that's the format out the way, let's talk about why you should watch and care about the tournament. Well, first of all, we will get a glimpse of what certain teams will look like in the playoffs. Teams are gonna show up and play to win, and we could get some very exciting matchups that might be playoff previews. Look at the Knicks-Bucks game. That really felt like a playoff game that went down to the line. It was great. I mean, who doesn't like high stakes basketball? I also think this tournament will be massive for young stars and teams. I mean, a guy like Wemby or a team like OKC could have some huge performances to maybe knock out a contender or even win a trophy for their team. I mean, that's something. That trophy might not mean much now, or it might not even mean much in 10 years time, but just look at European football as an example. For those who don't know, all major European football leagues have in-season tournaments, and trophies such as the FA Cup or Copa del Rey are hugely important trophies that teams try their absolute all to win and that genuinely mean a lot to legacies. I mean, let's be honest, the majority of us will not see our NBA team win a championship anytime soon, so this new tournament could provide more meaning and a different aspect to the season for teams, especially if we see real competitive basketball all throughout and the trophy begins to mean something. I mean, you never know. Over time, we might look at the tournament as a big deal, and winning it and the MVP for the tournament could change players' legacies. Also, it never hurts to win basketball games. Despite this, as I mentioned earlier, some people really believe the tournament is pointless and won't lead to anything. There's a real narrative online that players won't try and that the cup means nothing.
In terms of the in-season tournament, it does not make the most sense to me, candidly speaking.
Mid-season tournament, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all.
And he's got 3 in-season tournament championships. Like, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well, if you watch the first games of the tournament, you would know that players are trying. Steph and Dame both hit clutch shots to win the game.
2 now to the Knicks. Lillard turns, takes, and hits. Defender at 3. Curry sidestep, Curry drive, Curry flip, Curry good! With 2 again!
And Jalen Brunson had an absolute masterclass. I mean, to think that players won't care is just silly. I mean, the NBA is a group of high-performance athletes who are some of the most competitive people in the world. Give them a reason to compete, and they're going to show up. Also, the prospect of a 1-game elimination March Madness style final in Vegas is going to make players show up and show out. However, I do think the format can be improved, and I think it's important to improve it and tweak it with time. Now, I saw Tyrese Halliburton suggest this, and I completely agree, and that would be giving the winner of the tournament an instant qualification to the playoffs, or at least the play-in. I mean, imagine how interesting that would be. Picture a young team getting hot out of nowhere and winning the whole tournament, and now they have qualified for the playoffs in December. It would shake up the NBA so much, and it would definitely definitely make teams show up and play as hard as possible to win. I also think it would really benefit older contending teams. If you qualify for the playoffs that early into a season, it takes a lot of pressure off and allows for less injuries to happen, and even allows for coaches to play around with lineups to prep for the playoffs and see what really works the best. Something like that could make it super interesting and competitive. Now, in terms of teams to look out for in the tournament, there's a clear two favourite in my opinion, the Denver Nuggets and the Boston Celtics. They both look far and away the best teams in the league at the moment, and they have the star power to win it all. Crucially, the addition of Kristaps Porzingis to the Celtics was super overlooked in my opinion, and he's fit in there perfectly, giving them a whole new aspect on offense, spacing the floor, and giving them elite rim protecting. They look great this year, and well, the Denver Nuggets are the Denver Nuggets. They are defending champions for a reason. Jokic continues to show why he's the best player in the world, and looks like he might even go on to win another MVP. Jamal Murray continues to impress down the stretch, hitting shot after shot. Michael Porter Jr. seems to be really locking in defensively, which was not expected at all. And hey, Peyton Watson has been amazing. They got rid of Bruce Brown and replaced him with a younger, bigger, and lengthier Bruce Brown. In terms of underdogs that could make a run, I would look at the Mavs with the way Luka is playing at the moment. I mean, we say it every year, but it really might be his year to win MVP.
In the shot clock, 4 seconds, got it from Kleba, again late in the clock, in desperation, he puts it up!
The Lakers and LeBron look good, and they seem to be piecing things together, even though they had a bad loss the other night, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they did make a run and win it. Then even the Spurs with wembanyama, I mean, that's how good he's been. He literally looks unstoppable just 5 games into his career. An absolute freak of a player. Regardless, I love that the NBA have established themselves as a league that isn't scared to try new things and is constantly trying to innovate. I think it's great for the sport and as fans as a whole. Let me know what you think about the tournament, and what should they change, or should they even keep it? Thanks for watching, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.